For 200 years, all that survived was a name: Sickler. It sat on New Jersey headstones and deeds and census pages, plain and English sounding, and it gave nothing away. If anyone in the family ever wondered where it came from, there was no paper in a drawer to tell them. So when the family finally went looking, they started where everyone starts now, with a test. It came back saying, half Scandinavian, mostly Norwegian, and no one, anywhere in the family's memory, had ever pointed north. It was the right question. It was exactly the wrong answer. Because a DNA estimate is a compass, not a map, and this time the records were about to point somewhere the percentages never could, to one village in southern Germany, and a boy of 16 who carried that name off a ship. Because Sickler was never English at all. It was a German name, worn smooth by an English tongue, and read correctly, it pointed back across the ocean to a single Swabian village. No one had to remember the secret. The records had kept it, and the records ran deep. The family's home was a village called Bissingen an der Teck in the old Duchy of Wurttemberg in the southwest of what is now Germany. And before that, deeper still, a village near Stuttgart called Schmieden. Small places. The kind where the same families baptize, marry, and bury one another in the same church for 200 years. And they left their name for us to read: Ziegler. In German, it means brick maker, tile maker. A maker's name, handed down from whoever first shaped clay and fired it in that corner of the country. Remember that word, maker. It becomes the quiet reason for everything that follows. The line the records recovered runs 9 generations, from roughly the 1520s to the present day. It begins with a man named Georg Ziegler of Schmieden, born in the generation Wurttemberg turned Lutheran. That single change is why any of this can be told at all. It set the villages to keeping the parish registers that would carry his descendants' names down through the centuries. From Georg to Hanses, married at Schmieden in 1578, to his son Hanses, baptized in 1580, who carried the family from Schmieden to Bissingen, to Stoffel, born in 1606, to Jung Christoph, born in 1653, to Christoph, baptized in 1681, to Conrad, baptized in 1714, and then, in 738, to Conrad's son, a boy baptized Christoph Gotthard Ziegler, the one who would cross the ocean, the one who would become Christopher Sickler. To understand why a boy of 16 would leave a village his family had lived in for 2 centuries and cross an ocean he would never recross, you have to understand the world he was born into. Southwest Germany divided its land equally among all the children, every generation. It sounds fair. Over 200 years, it was ruinous. Each family's plot was split, and split again, until a share could no longer feed a household. That is the quiet engine under this whole story. Land hunger, built one inheritance at a time. And it fell hardest on exactly this kind of family. In the peak years of emigration, nearly 3/4 of those who left Wurttemberg came from the trades and the laboring classes, the makers, the very people a rigid guild economy had stopped rewarding, a family named for a craft in a country that no longer paid for craft. Then there was the toll. A Wurttemberg peasant was legally bound to his ruler. He could not simply leave. To go lawfully, you petitioned, and you paid a manumission fee, often 1/10 of everything you owned, and in return you got a passport that let you go abroad and barred you from ever coming home. Leaving wasn't an escape. It was a taxed, one-way transaction. You bought your way out of your own country, and the door locked behind you. It would be easy to reach for a more dramatic story, that the family fled religious persecution or was burned out by French armies. For this family, the honest record does not support it. Wurttemberg was a solidly Lutheran duchy that, unusually for its time, tolerated private worship. The famous devastations, the burning of the Rhineland, the killing winter of 78, belonged to the Palatinate, one valley to the west. They are the era's background weather. They are not this family's cause. For a Bissingen family, the drivers were plainer and harder. Divided land, guild-bound poverty, too many people, too much tax, and the recruiters who turned all of it into a ticket. They were called Newlanders. Often they were returned emigrants working on commission, who walked the countryside in fine American clothes, promising cheap land and easy fortune, paid by the head for every family they delivered to a ship. Most of this poor wave could not pay their own fare. They sailed as redemptioners, on credit and on arrival, sold years of their own labor to whoever had paid the captain. Whether young Christopher arrived free or bound to service, we cannot yet prove. But it was the common fate of everyone in his cohort. The crossing was a 7 to 12-week ordeal below deck, foul water, spoiled food, fever, and a heavy toll on the children. Christopher's ship, the Neptune, reached Philadelphia in December of 1754, an autumn sailing into winter seas, among the hardest passages there were. And we can place him on it. The Neptune's list survives. On it, an English clerk's best attempt at Christoph Gotthard Ziegler, written down as he heard it, in a language he didn't speak. The middle name gives it away. That is our Christopher, 16 years old, stepping off the boat. And he did not cross alone. Another Ziegler rode the same list, almost certainly a kinsman. They crossed together. The voyage ended the way every such voyage did, with the men marched to the Philadelphia courthouse to swear an oath of allegiance. The very act that created the list on which the name survives. And then the name changed, and the change that made this line feel unrecoverable for a century turns out to be the most ordinary thing in the world. In German, the letter Z is pronounced T's. To an English-speaking clerk in colonial New Jersey, hearing a new arrival say his name, T's D. Glur, the natural spelling, was phonetic. Siegler. There was no fixed spelling of anyone's name then. The same man turns up as Ziegler, Ziegler, Siegler, and Sickler, depending on whose ear and whose pen recorded him. Local New Jersey history keeps it plain. In 1754, the Ziegler brothers, Christopher, John, and Jacob, arrived from Germany and anglicized the name to Sickler. Christopher settled at Chew's Landing, farmed, married a woman named Susanna in 1763, and raised his children as Sicklers. During the Revolution, in 1777, he was taken prisoner by the British. He died in 1781, and his will, naming his wife Susanna and his children, is one of the documents that proves the whole line. His descendants left the name on the map itself, Sicklerville, in what is now Camden County, New Jersey, a Swabian brickmaker's name, worn smooth by an English tongue and made permanent. A family story is only as good as the documents beneath it. This line was built to a standard, and, just as important, it was defended against the easy mistakes that make so many online family trees quietly wrong. Every fact here rests on an original record, a parish register, an immigration list, a colonial will, not on someone else's copy of a copy. Because Ziegler is one of the most common surnames in Germany, and names like Hans and Conrad and Christoph repeat in every village. The single greatest danger in a deep line is grafting a stranger onto your family because a name and a date happen to line up. This work refused every such graft. A widely copied tree made Christopher the son of a Ziegler from Culpeper County, Virginia. But that man's son inherited Virginia land, a different person, and a Virginia birth flatly contradicts two records that both say, born in Germany, rejected. A Ziegler in your own, a tradesman naturalized in New York in 759. A man granted land in North Carolina 20 years after our Christopher was already dead. Same names, different men, everyone chased down to the original page and set aside. What remains is what agrees from independent directions. The parish registers of Germany, the passenger list, and the will of New Jersey describe the same man, right name, right birth year, right born in Germany, without ever knowing about one another. That is what proof looks like. Not everything is sealed, and the honest version says which is which. Solid. Christopher the immigrant, and his descent, his 1754 crossing, his New Jersey life, the name change, and the line back through the 1580 Schmidden baptism, each confirmed on original church and colonial records. Well supported but not yet sealed by an image, the two topmost rungs, Hans the Elder and his father Jorg, resting on the 1578 marriage. And still open, genuinely open. One puzzle rides along with the Neptune. She sailed from Hamburg in the north, yet this family's home was Wurttemberg in the southwest, whose natural route ran down the Rhine to Rotterdam. Why a Swabian family used the northern port, we cannot yet say. We flag it as a live thread, not a solved fact. Honesty about what we don't know is part of the proof. A line that began as a single word, Sickler, now runs unbroken. From a brickmaker's household in a Swabian village, through the church books of Schmidden and Bissingen, across the winter Atlantic on the Neptune, to a farm at Chew's Landing, and down to the family living today. They almost lost the name that would have led them home. It was there the whole time, in the registers, in the ink, in a clerk's misspelling on a ship's list, waiting to be read.